Good, happy Thursday morning, June 10, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Thursday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's begin. First up, state officials agree schools can have flexibility on mask wearing, especially in hot weather. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
Their reviews, our reviews.
I'm so happy.
Find out what we're all about at adamvroofing.com.
Multiple days in a row with temps in the 90s in New Hampshire, and with many schools lacking air conditioning and proper ventilation, districts have been pivoting to make sure kids are safe and comfortable.
Parents are reaching out to us concerned about some of the mitigation protocols that are being used in their schools, specifically around masks.
This week, some districts canceling or dismissing students early because of extreme heat. Education Commissioner Frank Edelblut says it's not only difficult for kids to learn in these conditions,
they also have some health risks, whether it's dehydration or heat exhaustion. And so what we want to do is we want to encourage our school leaders to look at mitigating protocols in their appropriate context so that they can fit the situation that they are in.
And some school districts are making changes. This week, Manchester updated its guidance. Students and staff only required to wear masks when moving around the building, but during class they can take them off. Concord dropped the mask requirement for outdoor activities, but in Londonderry the mask requirements will stay. Edelblut says it's up to each district's discretion.
We've seen dramatic decreases in our number of cases. We know that students are not vectors for transmission, so we believe that safely we can move forward and relax some of these mitigating strategies.
President of Teachers Union NEA-NH Megan Tuttle telling News 9, we are reviewing the new guidance and will be following up in the coming days with Public Health and DOE. And Edelblut adding today that this new guidance only really applies to the remainder of this school year as well as summer learning. He says they will have to reassess before classes resume once again in the fall. Live in Concord tonight, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. "11 cases of Delta COVID-19 variant found in New Hampshire. Health officials urge vaccination." Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Their reviews, our reviews.
I'm so happy.
Find out what we're all about at adamvroofing.com.
The Delta variant, first identified in India, is spreading globally. Health officials say it's now the dominant strain in the UK, and they want to stop that from happening in the US.
The transmissibility is greater, and the potential symptoms could be more severe.
New Hampshire is tracking several variants. The strain from the UK, Alpha, accounts for the most. The Delta strain now showing up in 11 patients in the state.
We're only testing a very, very small sample. So the fact that they have found 11 truly means that it is circulating in New England and in New Hampshire.
And the impact is being seen most in 12 to 20-year-olds.
This would be the age group that's more apt to socialize without social distancing, without masking, who also have not had the opportunity to be vaccinated yet.
Health experts say unvaccinated people or those who have not completed the vaccine series are minimally protected against variants, while fully vaccinated people are at far less risk.
These vaccines are still quite effective against even the variant strains. They may be less effective in some cases, but still very effective. And so we just want people to get vaccinated. We want to get as many people vaccinated as possible to protect them against COVID-19, including the variant strains too.
And health officials say the longer COVID-19 spreads, the more chance the virus will mutate into new variants. Jean Mackin, WMUR, News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire man charged in Maine carjacking. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
As we ease back into life with friends and family, Mahindra is here to help on the good days and the tough ones.
Police in Maine arresting a man from Harrisville, New Hampshire, accused of stealing a car from Old Orchard Beach and trying to steal a second car in Saco. Police say the owner of the second car was able to fight off Jeffrey Lavery, who then ran back to the first stolen car and sped off. He was taken into custody in Wells, Maine.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Firefighters battle 3-alarm fire in Nashua home. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
My old roof was an asphalt roof. It was really starting to look ragged. It's an island house. I wanted it to blend in better, so I decided to go.
Around 2:50 this afternoon, Nashua Fire arrived to 53 Concord Street to see heavy smoke coming from the attic.
Our crews did one heck of a job getting in and knocking down all the visible fire they could real fast.
With the weather approaching 90 degrees, Nashua Fire escalated the alarms to get help from Merrimack and Hollis.
It's after you get in there and you go through your first bottle, because they did run into some high heat up there as well. So that's why we're trying to get as many crews as we can here and rotate them as often as we can.
No one was hurt, but some firefighters were evaluated for heat exhaustion and are okay.
Incredibly hot these last few days. When you're wearing the equivalent of a snowsuit in the middle of the summer, it's not good.
Nashua Fire describes the structure as an old multi-family New England-style home about 75 feet long and 30 feet wide. The chief says the style of the home and the heat made it tougher to fight the fire.
The added intricacies of an old New England home with narrow stairwells winding, and we had to get hoses to the second floor. And if you saw the front of the building with the large tree in the front of the building, so getting aerial apparatus to the roof was somewhat difficult.
They did it, making for one proud fire chief.
They did pretty fantastic. Yeah, pretty proud of these guys.
As fire crews were leaving the scene, the Red Cross did show up to help the 8 residents who live here. In Nashua, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Vaccine supplies outpace demand in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
As we ease back into life with friends and family, Mahindra is here to help on the good days and the tough ones. So visit whymahindra.com.
The federal government continues to give New Hampshire access to ordering about 50,000 doses of vaccine each week between state sites and federal partners. 100,000 given out some weeks at the height of demand, dropping to 16,000 this week. The majority second shots as state sites wind down.
the number of people getting those first doses and choosing to get vaccinated is decreasing. It's only about 4,000 people each of the last 2 weeks.
The state no longer ordering all that's available as it transitions vaccinations to the private sector.
As we onboard more providers, then they'll request to use our vaccine supply and we'll approve that request, and then the vaccine can be shipped directly to them and not even come through our offices.
While it won't affect supply, the state is waiting for guidance on whether the 10,000 doses of Johnson & Johnson currently in storage at the health department can be used beyond their expiration. Close to 60% of Granite Staters are fully vaccinated, but the push is still on nationwide, especially as the Delta variant, first seen in India and now the dominant strain in the UK, is about 60% more transmissible, the impact seen most in 12 to 20-year-olds.
That since this variant is here, about 6% of the isolates in the United States are this troublesome variant. You don't want to give it the opportunity to take over as the dominant variant.
And as Pfizer enters its final phases of trials on children 11 years old and under, it could be approved by late fall or early winter, and the state says it is ready to get it into the hands of pediatric providers. We're live in Portsmouth, Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. No new COVID-19 deaths in New Hampshire as cases and hospitalizations up slightly. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Their reviews? Our reviews.
I'm so happy.
Find out what we're all about at adamvroofing.com.
County had fallen into moderate transmission last week. Right now, Coos and Sullivan counties are the only ones in New Hampshire with substantial transmission. Grafton, Belknap, Strafford, and Cheshire counties are in moderate status, along with the cities of Manchester and Nashua. Carroll, Hillsborough, Merrimack, and Rockingham counties have minimal transmission.
And we have new coronavirus numbers tonight. There are 57 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. Active cases are up slightly to 328. Current hospitalizations are also going up to 29. There are no new deaths reported.
Okay. Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Rising tick population prompts Lyme disease warning in California. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
With Realtor.com's home alerts, we found our new desert home really fast, and us cacti aren't exactly known.
And tonight, we're following a nationwide invasion of ticks. The disease-carrying bugs are turning up in droves as we head into summer, and they're being found in areas long believed to be tick-free. Here's CBS's Carter Evans.
All the things that we're walking by right now could be filled with ticks.
After battling Lyme disease, Dana Parrish thought she was safe from ticks when she moved from New York to the California coast.
Now you come back from the beach and you gotta check for ticks?
Yes, unfortunately. I hate to break it to you, but that's exactly what you have to do.
Researchers recently blanketed the brush along Northern California beaches.
We're surprised to find large numbers of ticks on that coastal chaparral.
Typically, the Northeast is the epicenter for ticks in the U.S., and scientists are expecting an explosion of ticks there this year. Warmer, wetter winters could be contributing to the larger numbers of mice they like to feed on. And more ticks means more tick-borne illnesses like Lyme disease. The CDC's most recent data shows cases in 48 states, with nearly 500,000 Americans being treated for it every year.
So they're looking for blood, basically, and they can be as small as a poppy seed.
Parrish was infected 7 years ago on the beach in New Jersey. At one point, she went into heart failure.
Within 5 months of that tick bite, I lost every part of who I was.
Scientists say it's not the sand sunbathers need to worry about, but rather the walk to it.
These are things that people in California don't think about when they're going to the beach.
I hope that this study will bring light to the fact that it is here.
And finding ticks early is the key to avoiding Lyme disease, so check when you get home and then take a hot shower. Finally, put your clothes in a hot dryer, and that'll kill off any stragglers you may have brought with you. Nora?
Carter Evans with the good advice. Thank you.
Okay, and that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.